You think rage is your weapon, huh? You think screaming at the top of your lungs, breaking things, and lashing out will make them regret what they did? Let me tell you something. Anger is cheap. It's the easiest thing to provoke. They expect it from you. They want it from you. Because the second you snap, that's when they get to sit back and go, "See? I told you they're unstable." They'll paint you as the villain in their story and sleep like babies knowing they've won. Pathetic. But silence. Silence is a weapon they don't see coming. It's not just a lack of words, it's the lack of validation. When you don't react, you starve them of the satisfaction they crave. And starving someone? That's the slowest, most painful death of all. Think about it. Every insult they throw, every trap they set, it's all bait. They want you to take it. But when you stand there, stone-faced, staring into their soul, they don't know what to do. Their confidence crumbles. Their facade cracks. And suddenly, they are the ones doubting themselves. Your silence. It becomes the loudest thing in the room. Trust me, that silence will haunt them long after your screams ever could. But don't get me wrong. I'm not saying bury your pain. Oh no, pain is powerful. It sharpens you, hardens you, turns the soft parts of you into steel. But here's the secret. You don't let them see it. You don't give them the satisfaction of knowing they hurt you. Instead, you take that pain and mold it into something they can't touch. Do you know why diamonds are so valuable? Pressure. Years and years of relentless pressure. It's not the fire that makes them unbreakable, no. It's the silence in which they endure. Be like that diamond. Let the weight press down on you, but never let it crack you. When the world looks at you, let them see something that they can't destroy. Here's another truth. Walking away? Oh, they'll call it weakness. Sure, they'll say you're running, scared, but walking away is the ultimate act of power. It says, "You're not worth my energy." It's the difference between fighting in the mud and rising above it. When you leave them standing there yelling at nothing, guess what? You've already won. They'll hate it. You know they will. They'll hate that you didn't stoop to their level. And that's the beauty of silence. It doesn't just protect you, it destroys them. They'll replay every word, every action, trying to figure out where they lost control. And you'll be miles ahead, untouchable. Let me tell you a story. There was a man who spent years plotting revenge against those who wronged him. He burned bridges, ruined relationships, all for the sake of making them pay. And when the day finally came, when he stood over their ruins, do you know what he felt? Nothing. Because revenge doesn't heal wounds, it deepens them. The only real revenge? Success. It's moving on, building a life so full and rich that their existence becomes irrelevant. Think about it. What hurts more? Seeing someone crying over you, or seeing them thriving without you? That's why you stay silent. That's why you rise. Because nothing destroys an enemy faster than showing them they have no power over you. Here's a bitter pill for you to swallow. Most people don't care about your pain. They don't lose sleep over the nights you cried, or the scars you carry. They'll step on you, laugh at you, and keep moving like you're nothing. So why waste your breath trying to make them understand? Let your actions speak. Let your silence scream. There's a saying I like. The wolf doesn't concern itself with the opinion of sheep. You're the wolf, strong, silent, untouchable. And the sheep? They'll bleat and gossip and try to drag you down, but a wolf doesn't stoop to their level. It stands tall, watching, waiting, and when it moves with purpose. You want them to feel what you felt? Then don't yell, don't cry, just stop. Stop chasing them. Stop explaining yourself. Stop giving them a reaction. Your silence will echo louder than any words ever could. It will gnaw at them. Keep them awake at night. They'll wonder why you don't care, why their games don't work anymore, And in that wondering, they'll destroy themselves. You've got a choice to make. You can let their words break you, or you can let your silence break them. One path keeps you shackled to their control. The other sets you free. But freedom comes with a price. It's lonely, it's dark, and it's cold. Not everyone can handle it. But those who can, they become legends. They think they own you. Every insult, every slight, every backhanded compliment, it's their way of keeping you in line. They're pulling strings, trying to make you dance like a puppet. And here's the worst part. For a while, you let them. You took their words to heart. Let their opinions define you. But what they don't realize is that the moment you stop reacting, you take back the power. Silence isn't just a response, it's a rebellion. It's the ultimate declaration that their words mean nothing. And when they realize they've lost control, that they can't get under your skin anymore, that's when the tables turn. You see, people thrive on control. They need to feel like they're steering the ship, like they're the ones dictating the narrative. But when you go quiet, when you stop giving them the satisfaction of a reaction, it's like cutting the strings on their puppet show. And do you know what happens when they lose control? They panic, they crumble, they break. Let me tell you something about expectations. They're a cage. People build this perfect little box for you, filled with their rules, their limits, their definitions of who you're supposed to be. And every time you step outside of it, they'll try to shove you back in. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. You don't owe them anything. Not your explanation, not your compliance, not your pain. You were not put on this earth to meet their expectations. And the sooner you stop trying, the sooner you realize how small their box really is. Because the world outside of their rules, it's infinite. It's yours. But silence, that's the key. When you stop explaining yourself, stop justifying your every move, you stop playing their game. And when you stop playing, they lose. You want to know what really haunts people? It's not the things they've done. It's the things they didn't do. The words left unsaid. The chances they didn't take. And most of all, the people they lost. Here's where it gets dark. One day, they'll look back on how they treated you. They'll replay every conversation, every argument, every time they made you feel small. And do you know what they'll see? You, standing there, silent, unbroken, and gone. Regret is a slow poison. It eats away at the soul, bit by bit. And the worst kind of regret? It's not losing someone. It's realizing they're better off without you. That's the regret you'll leave them with. Not through anger, not through revenge, but through the quiet, undeniable truth of your absence. Here's a harsh truth. The best revenge isn't being remembered. It's being forgotten. Because when someone forgets you, it means you've taken away the one thing they thought they had. Significance. They wanted to be the hero in your story. Or maybe the villain. Either way, they wanted a role. But when you go silent, when you move on without them, you strip them of that role. You reduce them to a footnote. A forgotten chapter in a book that's still being written. And that's a wound time won't heal. You want logic? Let's break it down. Biology. Humans are wired for connection. We crave attention, validation, acknowledgement. Silence disrupts that. It creates a void. And nature? Nature abhors a void. They'll try to fill it, but they won't know how. And in their confusion, they unravel. Psychology. Ever heard of projection? People project their fears, insecurities, and failures onto others. Your silence becomes a mirror, forcing them to confront their own reflection. And let me tell you, most people can't handle what they see. Sociology. Society runs on noise, gossip, arguments, endless chatter. It's all just noise. But silence? Silence stands out. It's rare, it's powerful, and it demands attention. When you're silent, you control the narrative. In a world obsessed with being heard, being silent, it's the ultimate act of defiance.